Good morning, students. Today we are going to start new lesson, air and its uses. Air and its uses. Now the topic is about air. Composition and properties of air. What are the compositions and what are the properties of air? There are a variety of living and non-living things around us. There are a variety of living and non-living things around us. Some are big and some are small. You can see all those things. Do you know that there is something around you? Do you feel that? Yes, you can feel that. Which you can't see. You can't see, but you can feel that one. It is cool, it is hot sometimes. What it is? It is air. But we can feel, but can only feel. It is nothing but the air around us. There is a thick layer of air around the earth up to height of 1,000 kilometers. Up to height, how much it is? 1,000 kilometers. It is called atmosphere. The area above the atmosphere where there is no air is called space. The above the atmosphere there is no air. So that is called as space. That is called as space. The area above the atmosphere where there is no air is called as atmosphere. What is that one? Space. Next, what is air? What are the things present in it? Let us see. So, what is air? What are the things present in it? Let us see. So, constituents of air. What are the constituents of air? Let us see. Air is not a single substance, but a mixture of many things. Here, it is not a single component, mixture of many things. All the things which together make air and are called its components. All the things together make air, no? So that are called what? Components of air, or we say constituents of air. Air is made up of a number of things that is called mixture. That is called a mixture. Next, air has oxygen. Air has what? Oxygen. You know that all living things breathe air. What do they take from it? What do they take from it? Oxygen. They take oxygen. It is oxygen. If a fire stops burning, blow air into it and it starts burning again. If fire stops burning, at that time if you blow air, so that starts burning. What helps it to burn? Oxygen helps it to burn. It is oxygen. Let us prove that air has oxygen. Take 3 candles and 2 jars of different sizes. 2 candles and 2 jars of different sizes. One big and one another is small. Light all the 3 candles and keep them on a table. So cover the candles with the 2 jars. Leave the 3rd candle open. So as shown in the figure. In the figure it is shown, no. So like that. So you have to take 3 candles. Light the 3 candles and take 2 jars. One is somewhat big, one is somewhat small. So cover the candles with the 2 jars. Now you have to observe that one is in the open air, one is in the big jar and one is in the small jar. So what happened here? Let us see. So here the candle in the small jar stops burning first. Then the candle in the big jar stops burning after some time. But the candle which is not covered continues to burn. It continues to burn because it is in the open air. This is because less oxygen is available to the first candle as there is a very little air is present in that jar. Next, a little more oxygen is available in the second candle because there is more air in the bigger jar. So that's why it somewhat burned some extra time. As the third candle is not covered, so a continuous supply of oxygen is there from the air around it. This experiment proves that air has oxygen in it. Air has nitrogen. Next one is air has nitrogen. How can we prove that nitrogen is there? So let us see the topic. Air has nitrogen. There is also nitrogen in the air. Approximately how much? 78% of nitrogen is there. And here air is nitrogen and 21% of what? Oxygen is there. If air contains only oxygen, all the things around the flame would burn. If it is total oxygen, all the things around us will burn totally. But it does not do so because air contains other gases which do not help in burning. Let us prove that air has nitrogen. Let us prove that one. Fix a candle to the bottom of the dish. So like this you have to arrange. Fix a candle to the bottom of the dish. Then next, pour some water into it and add 1 or 2 drops of ink. You have to pour some water and add 1 or 2 drops of ink. Take a glass jar and divide its volume into 5 equal parts. So take a jar. So you have to take like this one jar. So here it is shown. So that like that jar you have to take and you have to make that one into parts. So again here you have to make 5 equal divisions to 2 drops of ink here. Take a glass jar and divide its volume into 5 equal divisions. Mark the divisions on it. Light the candle and invert the glass jar over the candle. Now you have to light the candle and you have to invert that glass jar into the beaker. Next, again, light the candle and invert the glass jar over the candle. Observe what happens. The candle burns for some time and then dies out. For some time it will burn and again it put off or it stops burning. So it is because the oxygen available for burning is finished or over. The oxygen which is available in the bell jar or jar in that is finished. That's why the candle is put off. Next, it is because when the oxygen is in the jar, glass jar is used up for burning. Some empty space is formed in it. So now empty space is there in it. In the jar there is empty space. Water enters that empty space. Then water enters that empty space. We poured already water in the one vessel we took starting now. So in that we poured dish. We took one dish now. In that water was there now. That water again enter into the jar. So we can say that 1/5 of air by volume is oxygen because why it rises up 1/5 of glass jar. So 1/5 of glass jar the water rises up. It is because when the oxygen in the glass jar is used up for burning, some empty space is formed in it. So water enters that empty space. We can say that 1/5 of oxygen. The air by volume is oxygen. The rest of the air contains mostly nitrogen. That means 4 in 5 parts of air is oxygen. The ratio of oxygen and nitrogen in the air is how much? 1:4. So the ratio of oxygen and the nitrogen is what? How much it is? That is what? 1:4. 1:4. Apart from oxygen and nitrogen, air has other constituents like carbon dioxide, water vapor, neon, argon, krypton, dust, dirt particles and water vapor. These are all present in the air. These are present in small quantities in the air. air also has dust and smoke also. Hence we can say that air is not a single substance but a mixture of gases. Air is not a single substance, it is a mixture of gases. Next one is one more experiment. You can see the picture in the textbook also. Now uses of the constituents of air. Uses of the constituents of the air. The constituents present in the air are essential for us. Oxygen helps in breathing and burning. When we breathe in air, air reaches the lungs, and the lungs, in that lungs gases exchange takes place, and we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. At that time, the oxygen reaches all over the body parts through blood vessels, and the carbon dioxide is sent out from that organs. The oxygen is taken into the blood. Again from there to it reaches the heart, and from there to again it reaches the lungs. Then the carbon dioxide comes out. So this is the process. Next, carbon dioxide helps the plants to prepare food. So what are the components of the air? So here we can say 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and here we can say 0.04% of carbon dioxide, remaining 1% all other gases. So what are they? Already we studied here. What are the again? Neon, argon, and krypton. So like these gases are there in it. So now let us see that. So here the oxygen is helpful in breathing and again for burning. And what about the carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is helpful in the preparation of food materials in plants. They do photosynthesis in their plant bodies and they prepare food. They are the universal food providers. They prepare food. What are the food materials here? Carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins. They prepare. So again the green leaves present in the plant absorb the sunlight, and again through stomata they absorb what? Carbon dioxide. In presence of chlorophyll they prepare food, they absorb water through roots, and they prepare food materials in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. So this process is known as what? Photosynthesis. Now this photosynthesis is a process of what? It is a synthesis process. Which process? Synthesis process. So with the help of carbon dioxide. Next, again nitrogen is needed to plants for their growth, for the preparation of fruits. So for the production of fruits, what is important? Nitrogen is important. A kind of bacteria, Rhizobium bacteria, changes the gaseous form of nitrogen into the solid form and fixes in the soil. So that is absorbed by the roots of the plants, and then it is utilized, and they produce fruits. They bear fruits. Next, again one more is here there. So we learn this one in next video. So today it is enough. So once you have to read the topic and try to understand the topic. So the picture is given here. Your homework is these two experiments you have